Spooky, scary skeletons. Sorry. Wah. Hey,
you came in with the spooky, scary shit because it's Halloween, but I figured we were just going to do wah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wah. Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast, spooky edition.
Wow, so spooky.
It's the spooky edition where we sing spooky, scary skeleton and wah the day away. This is the Halloween episode, and we have a very special episode for you guys.
Absolutely. This is one of the specialist episodes of the year because, as you know, October is the spookiest of months.
Yeah, and we've been doing spooky shit all month plus Venom, which is scary bad. But we have been doing a lot of horror movies this month. We've been doing Stephen King for the past 2 months. 2 months. Yeah, Stephen King movies for the past 2 months. And then we're going to round out Spooky-tober with the Calgary Underground Film Festivals 12-hour horror marathon. We're going to be talking about all the stuff that went down there and the experience, as well as we're going to be talking a lot about the movies that we saw. We personally saw 6. However, there were 7, and I know that on your own free time you watched the 7th film anyways.
In fact, I came home across the street from the Globe, my apartment.
Yeah,
I threw it up on the projector in my bedroom.
It's basically the same thing, but you get a bed.
But I get a bed. It's like you can watch it but lay it down. I'm sure my neighbors were very impressed with me blasting Drag Me to Hell at 5:30 in the morning.
While simultaneously the people across the street are blasting Drag Me to Hell at 5:30 in the morning.
True.
But we'll talk a little bit more about Drag Me to Hell later. But let's talk more about the Atmo. We didn't really dress up this year.
No.
I just wore the thing you wore last year with the spooky skeletons that Max Landis made.
I'm not much of a dresser up. We could have done like some sort of couple costume, like Ratatouille.
Sick.
You could have been the rat because you're disgusting.
I was sick. We could have been the Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, we could have been 1-2 garbage. We could have been Oscar the Grouch.
We could have been that garbage Pokemon that is just a garbage bag.
Yeah.
Or we could have just been homeless, which is pretty close to what I actually was.
This right here is a homeless man.
Yeah, I'm pretty homeless right now until the 9th of November. So, then I get a home.
Last episode, we gave away a code to Arrival on Twitter. So Correct. If you go over to our Twitter at Movie Epidemic, we're giving away a code to Blade Runner 2049. Why don't you give us a secret code to get an extra entry? Hashtag bad boy and throw it up on Twitter. And we'll see you, and trust me, you'll likely win.
So the Blade Runner 2049 secret code that you have to tweet at us is Harrison Ford looks 100.
Hashtag Harrison Ford looks 100.
Harrison Ford looks 100.
So get that in, and we'll send you that code promptly.
Yeah, and you can tweet us at Movie Epidemic on Twitter. Now, when this episode airs, it's actually going to be the 31st of October. So,
okay, you're time stamping this.
Yeah, happy Halloween to all of our listeners. Happy Halloween. I hope that your costumes are terrible, and I hope work goes really long so you don't have any fun.
Okay, that seems rude.
And give out candy. That's a lot of fun. Shit, I gotta go get some candy. I haven't got any candy.
Nobody's coming to your apartment that you don't own anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But I want to just give out candy from my cardboard box on the street because I'm very homeless. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are we talking about starting off here? I guess with Hellfest?
Yeah, let's talk about Hellfest. So this is the first...
Welcome to Hellfest.
Welcome to Venom. So Hellfest was the first movie that we saw. It was the thing that kicked off the night. It's a brand new movie, which is actually a really good way to start off the night, I think, with something
eased in.
Yeah, it eases people in, and then you start throwing the classic shit at them because it's what they come for, but they stay for the Stephen King shit. So
for sure.
Hellfest is a brand new horror film. It's a slasher movie, and essentially the concept is pretty basic. It's just that a slasher is following these people around at a horror-themed amusement park.
Well, it's like a horror maze. It's like the Universal Studios,
or like Screamfest, but good.
Well, Screamfest, you're gonna make a very exact. That's a very local reference.
Yes, absolutely. Because this show's for the locals.
Go with Universal Horror Nights.
Yeah, okay. So it's a lot like the Universal Studios Horror Nights, where essentially it's just this giant theme park with mazes and haunted houses and
some cool rides.
Yeah, some cool rides and all of the carnival games are horror themed. It's pretty cool. Like it's a cool aesthetic.
It also is like a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like, it's never, I don't think it's been done. There was like another movie that like did this, but it also came out this year, I think.
Well, I mean, like the climax of Zombieland is like this with zombies, kind of.
Nah, it's not a slasher movie set in a real world park.
Yeah. Is this a real park?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Because it looks great. Like it looks, I remember.
It's probably like one of those Silverwood type places. That has like horror nights.
Yeah. So when they were first starting this, I was like, they were first starting it, the first thing I think is like, man, this amusement park looks fucking dope. It looks really, really good. But you know what I find? So the concept of the slasher in this horror themed park is so good. And here's why, is because this guy's following him the entire night and they just assume that he works for the park. Because you'd think he was just a guy doing his job. Because like at these festivals, as mentioned previously, I went to a festival like this last month. There are people that are just paid to fucking walk around and try and scare the shit out of you. Like that's their job.
Yeah.
And so there would be people like this. There's even a point in this movie where they straight up witness this dude murder someone and they like scoff at it and they're like, yeah, all right.
Got pretty intense there at the end.
Yeah. Damn, that got pretty intense. But here's what I think really holds this movie together is this movie is bundled with a huge amount of variety because they're going across the park doing a whole bunch of different things at the park.
Totally. And it's there's so many different attractions, and this, to me, this just, it's like reeks of franchise. You know, like
it blows its nut.
55 of these fucking things, man.
Yeah, and I kind of hope they do because I'll come right out the gates here. I like this movie a lot.
Yeah, this was fun. I didn't expect that it was going to be that good.
Yeah, me neither.
Just by concept alone, it's like it is very jump scare heavy because of the attraction, right? Like these attractions are jump scare heavy, and if you know anything about Buck Hollywood LeDuc, the only way to get me scared is to startle me.
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
true.
A lot of startles in this one.
Oh, dude, you were shivering.
We were. I was jumping. I do the. I get it. I'm a little jumpy. I get startled.
I'm less jumpy, but this one did jump me a little bit.
But then we were like later when we were watching all the gore shit, I'm just sitting there unfazed and all of a sudden desensitized. But you could still startle me, that's for sure.
You're like, I did this in Grand Theft Auto yesterday. This doesn't mean anything to me.
I don't play video games.
But anyway, but here's another thing that I think really works well for this movie is that it has a maybe slightly above average like written cast of characters to kill off.
Sure.
Because like I actually kind of like some of these characters. Now I want to say that I like some of these characters. Yeah. I like the main character a lot. That's a real person. Mm-hmm. That's a real person. The guy that she's trying to fuck. Also, that guy is so real. That guy Gavin. That's a real dude.
Yeah.
However, her best friend. That's not a person. That's a non-type of person type of person. It's the what's her name? Brooke is that character's name.
Sounds right.
Yeah, and that character is just there to be best friend. You know,
it's to set up having like the weirdo roommate. Like that's just all set up.
Yeah, and the weirdo roommate is not a very well written character, but she's fun.
Yeah. You have to have that in these movies. You have to have the silly character.
You always have the goofball, and I really like the idea of it being like that type of character. And here's another thing that I kind of like about this movie is that this movie is really all about the female cast. Like the male cast are really just there. But it's the female cast that really take the strides, that really make the brave decisions, that really push the movie forward. And I like that. I think it's progressive.
We're seeing that a lot right now with Halloween and because slashers are inherently kind of misogynist. So
I agree. Yeah.
So the role reversal, I think that's going to become more and more common, especially if you got Blumhouse.
Yeah, because all the dudes in this movie.
CBS Films made this interesting.
Yeah, CBS Films. That's correct. I love their logo though, just like the grayscale. Love it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But then as the movie continues, like it's one of those movies where you feel like they busted their nut really quickly, but then it just keeps getting wackier. Like because especially near the end, like there's that haunted house that has all the lasers and shit, and you're like, well, this is so wacky.
Yeah, I also like think that goes on far too long of them stepping over lasers.
Oh yeah, stepping over the lasers.
I was pissed. I was getting pissed off. I'm like, can we stop stepping over lasers, please?
Yeah. I love the villain in this movie, though.
Yeah, he's really good.
That's a really creepy
good,
aesthetic.
Like, faceless guy.
Yeah.
And then the reveal at the end is very good. There's just like all of the characters in the park that are just walking around, like everything's creepy.
Yeah.
Like, and I love like the little kids that come up to them at some point.
Oh, the headless dolls?
That's mad creepy, by the way.
Oh, and there was like a guy walking around in the background who was like in a scary costume, but he had stilts on, and I'm like, please do not feature this.
Dude, I hate stilts.
God, don't feature this. It's too scary.
Like in Mad Max Fury Road, those stilts creatures walking in the lagoon.
Oh, that's the one part of that movie I really don't like because it's uncomfortable. I think we talked about that in our review for that movie.
We definitely did because it's too scary.
I'm like, yo, that is way too scary. Do not have birds on stilts. I do not like that. Yeah, but honestly, this is a pretty genuinely good slasher movie. The suspense is built really, really well. I don't think it's perfect, but I also think that the setting builds for some really great aesthetic as well.
Totally.
Like, this is a fucking super aesthetic movie. It's well shot, it's well lit, and like the colors really like burst right out at you, which I like a lot.
Yeah, it's a good looking movie. I think the director like wrote a bunch of like horror movies for Blumhouse.
That makes sense. That doesn't surprise me at all.
He was the editor.
Oh, okay.
He edited Get Out, Game Night, Happy Death Day, Paranormal Activity, like 2 through 7.
God, there's just millions of those fucking things. Just millions of them. But yeah, no, I'm actually was surprised. I was very delightfully surprised at how much I really liked this movie.
Yeah, it's like extremely fun. And
yeah.
And it's, although the slasher genre's dated, I think it still has its place.
I agree.
And I think we're seeing a lot of good ones this year.
Yeah, David Gordon Green
continues.
Yeah, David Gordon Green is working hard to make sure that that this is not a genre that just dies out with the misogyny and the Me Too movement. You know, like as we move into a more progressive, because I think this genre can evolve. Because you're right, they are inherently misogynist, and that is a bad thing, and that doesn't fly in 2018. It just doesn't. So being able to pull these types of movies into a new era, I think, is exciting, because I'm excited to see what other slashers.
Horror has always been political, though.
Yeah, that's very true. But we had 2 really good slashers this year. This and David Gordon Green's Halloween, and that I can't remember the last time that we had 2 really good slashers in the same year.
The last good slasher.
Yeah, because like what was last year's Leatherface and like
I don't know if I count that. That's like some direct video bullshit.
That's some VOD. No, it's not direct to video. That was in theaters.
That was not in theaters,
dude. Yes,
Leatherface
it was
not in theaters.
Leatherface was super in theaters, dude.
Fuck out of here. That wasn't in theaters.
I am telling you right now, Leatherface was in theaters. But I like Hellfest a lot. I'm going to give that a 4 on the Chadsky scale.
Yeah, I agree with the 4. I really liked it. I thought it was so much fun.
Yeah, I had a great time watching this movie.
But if you're not into the jumpy stuff, this one is not for you, probably.
Yeah, and like I'm not super into like jumpy scares. They don't really do much for me. But I think that the reason I like this movie so much is that the jumpy stuff is there to distract you from the legitimately creepy shit happening right behind the jumpy stuff.
Sure.
Which is good writing, to be honest. That's good writing. So at this point, it's like what?
10?
No, really like 9 o'clock.
9.
Because it started at 7, and this movie's a tight 90.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at like 8:45.
8:30.
Yeah, 8:30-ish. And at this point, I'm already pretty fucking tired.
Well, why didn't you prepare for this?
I don't know.
You did nothing all day.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I did absolutely nothing. But this one...
I prepared. I drank a lot of espresso. I could have done the last movie. I just chose not to.
Yeah, which is the smart choice, and we'll talk about why later. So at this point, I'm already feeling tired, but I'm like, gotta keep going. Obviously, I'm not gonna cower it out after 1. Because that's insane.
That's saying we're $20.
Yeah, maybe though. I
gotta watch 2. Cut your loss.
Yeah. So then we head into our Stephen King pick of the week, graciously picked by the fantastic people of the Calgary Underground Film Festival, and that is Christine.
Hell yeah.
Now, I know you'd seen this movie before, but this was a first time for me.
Yeah, I've seen it before. It's pretty crazy, dude.
It's really kind of wacky, and it's not really what I expected from this movie.
It's also not a starting lineup John Carpenter.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So this movie is about a group of teenagers, and one of them buys this new car, and he's like a nerd, which he was really leaning into that at the beginning.
Yeah, and you can tell that he's gonna like turn into like a hot dude because he's built, like he's in good shape. He's got like the chest hair, but he's just got the glasses on. And
he's got the glasses that make his eyes look big.
This is gonna be a Sam Raimi black suit Spider-Man situation. And it immediately turns into that. Obviously, Sam Raimi's seen the show or seen this movie because he basically slot for slot stole Black Suit Spider-Man from Christine.
Yeah, it is absolutely correct. So the idea behind this movie is that he buys this car and he falls in love with the car, and the car
fucks the car.
Yeah, and the car falls in love with him back. And here's what I love about Stephen King is that he's just got like this fucking obsession with machines hurting people.
Yeah, he loves cars and motorcycles.
Yeah, cars and motorcycles, cell phones, like manglers, like
manglers, dude. Like I was saying, it ain't starting lineup John Carpenter, but he did his best with the material. It sure is fucking starting lineup Stephen King.
Yeah,
that book is fucking bad, dude. It ain't good.
Yeah,
it's a book about a fucking car that's alive.
It looks like a John Carpenter movie, though, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good-looking movie. Like, it's shot super well. And they really
I think this is a good one to pick for an event like this because it gets the people going.
Yeah,
it's
riles them up.
Weird.
It's provocative. He fucks a car in it. And so you have these two main characters, and they're like best friends. And the more the one guy loves his car, the less he loves his best friend. And then he starts dating the hottest girl in school for some reason.
It's a reach. It's definitely a reach.
Yeah, that is the one thing that I was like taken away. That I was like, huh? Because he's the ugliest dude in the entire school. And then, like, I thought they were going to explain it somehow that the car gave him like confidence to fuck, but they really don't explain it at all. But instead he just shows up with the hottest girl in school that people keep asking her out, and she keeps turning him down. But for some reason, this ugly fuck, I feel like his name's Brian. I don't think that's right. But
Arnie?
Oh yeah, Arnie.
Arnie?
That's a way better name, dude. I can't tell if that's a really scrawny dude name or a real jacked dude name.
Arnie Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. And so he just shows up with this hottest girl in school. And then it's so funny because every time she like confronts him about the car, he gets so fucking disrespectful, and it's hilarious.
Extremely disrespectful.
Like she'll be like, I think that the car is jealous of me. It's like, this car would do fucking anything for me. It's like, what is this guy talking about? It's really wacky. And it is definitely one of the wackiest King movies I've ever seen. However, I love it. Like, I do. I really like it.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I don't necessarily think the content is very good.
I think it has slow points.
And also, it's like the car, it can just fix itself. So it's like, what was the first 70 minutes of this movie?
Oh yeah, where he's fixing the car. Hey, what the fuck? You're fixing the car, but
your car that can drive yourself. Why you need person? Just drive. Doesn't seem like you need gas. There's no fill-ups in this movie. They blow up a gas station. No fill-ups.
I always thought that this was the movie that had that famous quote that was like, there was no driver in the car. But it's not. It's not in this movie because I was waiting for it. I think it's in a different movie called The Car. But I could be wrong about that.
I don't fuck with the car, so I don't know.
Yeah, and so then the movie progresses, and it really is, as you described, Black Suit Spider-Man. As the more he gets attached to his car, the more fucking disrespectful he becomes to everyone around him. And essentially, these bullies, which, by the way, these guys are bargain bin John Travolta, all of them.
Especially like the main guy with the big hair.
Yeah, that's just bargain bin John Travolta, dude, which I like.
That shit is hilarious when he pulls out the knife on the, on the shop.
Dude, and the audience was fucking laughing.
It's hard. So funny though. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not mad at it.
I love that scene where they're like, "Do you got a knife, buddy?" And he's like, "No." And then the other two guys are like, He's got a knife.
He's got a knife.
And it's such a long pause too. They're like, Arnie, did Buddy here pull a knife on you? And Arnie thinks about it for a full minute and doesn't say anything.
This movie's like, it's got that Carpenter charm where like everything's hilarious, even though it's not supposed to be always.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it really leans into it. And I think that's a good thing. I think the performances are good though. Like I like the main guy a lot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've seen him somewhere, but I couldn't really pinpoint it. But then you know what the best part about this movie is?
What's that?
Harry Dean Stanton rolls up and does nothing.
Shows up fucking 84 minutes in.
Does nothing.
Looks around.
He plays a cop, and it feels like he's on the cusp of figuring it out the whole movie, and then does nothing. It's really wacky. But the movie doesn't really ramp up until probably about the 60-minute mark, and that's when the car starts killing people. But before that, like Arnie is the bad guy of this movie. Like that's the weird thing.
Villain. Even up until the end,
it's not even
the villain.
It's not even the car that's the bad guy. It's fucking Arnie. He's the real villain of this movie, and it's especially because they make you like him right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then they are like,
feel real sorry for this guy.
Yeah, you make him feel real sorry for it because he gets his fucking yogurt cut open with a switchblade.
Hell yeah!
Like
a lot of yogurt came out of that bag too. I don't think that was. That's like a full container of yogurt.
Yeah. Also, like, I want to know what kind of container that yogurt was in because he ripped through that bag pretty quickly. I don't know if this dude's just really strong or what.
It's extremely sharp.
Oh, yeah, true. It's meant for shanking. But like, there's just so much shit at the beginning that's like supposed to make you feel bad for him. Like he wanted to switch to like a different school and his parents wouldn't let him. And he for some reason can't figure out how the fuck to open a locker.
Yeah,
like
gets mad disrespectful.
Yeah. And then he gets mad disrespectful with his parents. And then the movie just barrels out of control.
Darnell. A great character.
Oh, Darnell is a great character, dude.
He's like, I don't want any disrespect here. No smoking allowed.
He's like, listen here, you piece of shit, you fucking asshole. If you curse at me, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of swearing around in this movie, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It's the kind of cursing that's like not necessary.
It's like this is pretty much a kids movie, other than they curse around constantly. I don't know. There's not even any nudity, anything. Really.
There's not really any violence either, because like all of the deaths are off screen.
Yeah, they're off screen.
Which
is the car killing stuff.
Which is like, what's the point then? Like, what's the point? Because like it's a movie about a killer car.
There is that scene where the car is on fire and it runs over the John Travolta guy, and that scene is that scene is amazing. But they straight up ripped that off in Strangers Prey at Night. I think I might have even mentioned that.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah. Strangers Prey. You're right. That entire scene is in that movie.
Yeah. That's straight up ripped, player.
But the bottom line of this movie is that it's so goddamn fun. Like, it's so silly and stupid.
It's really dumb. But that's why I like it.
That's why I kind of like it. So on the Chad C scale, I'm gonna give this one also a 4.
Yeah, that's where I had it. That's where I had it last time I watched it. So I'll keep it there.
Yeah, it's just
I don't know if it deserves it. That's the thing. But like John Carpenter is a good director, and that's the thing.
Well, the thing is that we gave Hellfest a 4, and Hellfest is clearly a better movie. But like, this one's just as fun, I think.
Well, I gave Halloween a 5, and I like Halloween more than this movie.
Correct. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I was thinking about it for like so long today, and I can't for the fucking life of me remember what the third movie was.
Oh, you mean Murder Party?
Murder Party, right. That's why I forgot it. This one might be the worst one we saw. The crazy thing about this one is that we didn't see anything like spectacularly bad.
Yeah. For sure.
During this film festival. This is actually a really, really decent lineup.
Yeah. Like I saw maybe half of this stuff, but the stuff I didn't see, very good.
Yeah. And like, as far as like, if I had to pick a worst one we saw this night, it would probably be Murder Party. This is all near.
I've seen Christine, I've seen Murder Party, and I've seen House of a Thousand Corpses. This one I had seen before, and it's fine. But like, I wasn't
kind of funny.
I wasn't super excited to see it on the big screen, to be honest.
It's like kind of funny. You know,
it's funny. It's just the problem with this is they had some sort of weird ass fucking copy that they streamed off the internet at 15 frames a second.
Is it not supposed to be 15 frames per second?
I don't remember it looking like that.
Because I was gonna fucking throw up in the theater.
I watched it on Shudder like a year ago, and I don't remember it looking that bad.
Yeah, because it looked really bad, and I've seen Saulnier's other works. Like I know what he can do.
Well, you've seen Green Room. You haven't seen his other works.
Oh, what's the other one? Blue Ruin?
Blue Ruin.
Yeah, I've never seen that, but I'm adding it to the list. But Green Room I've seen.
It's also got Macon Blair in it.
Okay, but even if we're just talking Green Room, that's a fucking phenomenal looking movie. That's a great looking movie. I've seen what Saulnier can do. There's no way that Murder Party is supposed to look this terrible. However, it looks like it's clearly very early Saulnier, which is fine. The acting in this movie isn't...
He also did that movie Hold the Dark with Jeffrey Wright that's on Netflix.
Oh, I've never seen that either. I love Jeffrey Wright, though.
Yeah, well, we were going to talk about it on the show, but then Halloween happened.
Yeah, sorry guys. Halloween.
His buddy Macon Blair, the guy that has the beard in this movie, he's also a director too, and he made like that one with Elijah Wood. I don't feel at home in this
planet anymore.
In this world anymore.
In this world, yeah. Okay, yeah.
He also did some other stuff too. Or no, that was it. But
that's like the main guy who in like the night costume.
No, he's the guy that has that gets the werewolf mask burned onto his head.
Oh, yeah. The big old.
He's got the beard.
Big old fat guy.
He's the main character of Blue Ruin. I also like him a lot too.
He's the big old fat guy that's trying to fuck the lady the whole movie.
That's right.
Yeah. So this movie it's so okay. Like it's the most mediocrely okay film I've ever seen. It's middle of the road, decent entertainment. And so I
think it's fairly good for like a directorial debut shot on what looks like mini DV.
Fucking mini DV, maybe less, maybe a fucking flip cam, a YouTube flip cam. But this movie it's very bizarrely set up because the idea is that they invite this guy out to this murder party and they go and they're like, oh, so the party is that we're going to murder you. Okay, what did you really expect? He invited him to a murder party.
Yeah, well, you asked me what this movie's about, and I'm like, it's about a murder party. And you're like, well, what do you mean? Like an orgy? I'm like, no, a murder party. You're not listening.
And so essentially the idea is that these 6 artists are all trying to find the most creative way to murder a person and like in a way that it's not just murder, that it's art. That is a fucking hilarious concept.
It's a great premise, and that's obviously what they started with.
Yeah, it's clearly what they started with. It's what they started with. It's what they ended with, because that is really what the movie is. It's mostly just poking fun at artists.
Absolutely. It's funny too, because when I watched this the first time, what I remember from it is mostly him running away, and then that great ending scene with Bill. But like there's most of this movie does take place in this warehouse and they're just chatting.
Yeah, it's mostly just them hanging out. And like there's points in this movie where I'm like legitimately interested in the conversation. Like when they're like, oh, we're going to play Truth or Dare. And
that's funny with Psycho or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Psycho.
Psycho, which is funny. Like the Russian drug dealer.
Yeah. The Ukrainian pierogi dealer.
That scene almost doesn't make sense to me though, because the character Alex has so much to hide. Why would he? It was his idea to do that. He
doesn't take it though.
Oh, does he not take it?
He puts it into the pizza crust.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. I thought that was just like them doing a bit. Like he was so fucked up on drugs, he's like, I'm just gonna put this in some pizza crust.
No, he doesn't take it.
Okay, then that actually kind of makes sense. And then the movie sort of just devolves into because that's near the beginning of the movie is that they do the Truth or Dare with the True Serum, which is a funny concept, really, really funny concept. And then it's just them hanging out for a while. Like it's for a long time. It's like they order pizza and they're like
some crank.
Yeah, they get some crank. The dog eats the crank. That's a lot of fun. And it's mostly just standing around. And I'm sitting here and I'm like,
the main guy escapes a lot though.
Yeah,
that's what's funny about it.
Yeah, that is true. He keeps escaping, and they keep getting him back.
I just wanted to party, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to go to a party. There's a really great part where they're all doing puns. And then the guy who's getting murdered has one. He's like, I don't feel I deserve this punishment. And they all are fucking laughing. And then the guy with the grants is like, this guy's my best friend now. And like there's a lot of jokes in this movie that are very clearly tailored to an audience exactly like me, but I don't think that it stands on its own feet very well aside from those jokes. Just because
it isn't anything else than that, really.
It's true, but that's the point. And that's the problem, is that it's those jokes and nothing else.
But it's like, this is a comic.
Yeah, but there's nothing around these jokes. You can write a comedy and then have something around the jokes.
Yeah, the murder is around the jokes. That they're going to murder a man. Like, do you not understand what murder is? Because that seems like a pretty big plot point, Chadley.
Yeah. It's shockingly low stakes in this movie.
Extremely low stakes. Even though people are constantly dying in this movie. Constantly dying. Fucking Macon Blair's head is on fire for 7 minutes.
It's on fire for a long time, and then he's just not dead. But then that scene at the end where he's running away, and then Bill is just fucking.
Now Bill is my favorite character.
Bill is definitely the best character of the movie
because he's like that solemn guy who's not really participating, but he's got PSP. He's got his PSP. He's got that deep hatred inside of him.
Yeah,
he reminds me a lot of these kids on Twitter these days that have this deep hatred in them.
Hell yeah!
Everybody dies. No, not you. You're too much of a coward to kill a man.
But I do also believe that there is a true hero in this movie, and it is Lancelot.
Sir Lancelot.
Sir Lancelot the cat. He is a true hero. Sir Lancelot, move. Okay, I guess I'm going out then. Oh yeah, it is really funny. It's also super funny that at the end he's like covered in blood, like everything's disgusting.
Yeah, so that party scene is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's definitely the best part of the movie.
And Bill's ordering a pink flamingo.
Yeah,
and running through there, and then he meets like the art exhibit guy who went to school with him, and he's like, Bill, William,
the guy that if this movie had a bigger budget would have been Randall Parks.
Yeah, absolutely would have been Randall Parks. But that scene where he's murdering everybody in the art exhibit is like it's so funny. Perfect. Yeah, it's so good.
And then people are coming into the exhibit after, which is clearly not what it's supposed to look like, and they're like, That's beautiful. That's art.
That's artistic.
That's very artistic. That's perfect. And no, yeah, it's very, very funny. I feel like there's so much dry points in this movie, so I'm not going to harp too heavy on it, but I do think this movie's a 3 on the Chadsky scale. I had enough fun.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, I would have rather watched it not in 15 frames per second.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
I think it doesn't do any favors, because you would have liked it more if you saw it regular.
So it's at this point that we got the costume contest. This wasn't as fun this year because there wasn't anything as wild as fucking Phil taking off his shirt. Looking like a goblin.
We have to recap this, even though we talked about it last year. Last year, this guy we know, Phil, who's 4 foot like 3, and he's a little goblin covered in tattoos, extremely ugly, hair down to his ass. He gets up on stage and he takes off his shirt, and that's his costume because he's so ugly that he is just a monster.
Yeah.
And I could not stop laughing. Mary McCheese was there last year. This year, it's like no one wanted to get on stage. And if you have a costume, here I can tell you exactly how to win a costume contest because I've watched 1,500 of them. You just have to be, it's what happened in this one. You just have to get people to look at you.
Yes.
If you're hiding in the back, you're not going to win. You just have to get people to look at you. You can either not wear pants or you can be Rick and Morty. You can do that shit.
So halfway through this costume contest, there's all these people at the front, and then from the back you hear, Rick, oh, we forgot to go on stage for the costume contest. And this guy's doing like a near flawless like Rick impression.
To be fair, Rick isn't the hardest voice to do.
Morty. Morty, we almost forgot to go into the costume contest. And they made it this whole song and dance. And it was this guy and his girlfriend. He was Rick. His girlfriend was Morty. And all she was doing was wearing a yellow shirt.
That's what Morty is.
Which is Morty. That's correct. And so they get up there on stage and they're doing this bit during all the adjudication. And it's like, well, we're all looking at this.
You just have to get people to look at you. That's literally the only way to win a costume contest. Like I said, wear no pants. Or be Rick and Morty.
Yeah, or be
do
Rick and Morty.
Anything to just get people's attention.
There was also an amazing thing in this costume contest where they're like, we're also going to give a prize to the best person in a best zombie costume. And there was one zombie costume.
Dude, I should have just beat the shit out of you so you were bleeding so you could have got us passes to Overlord.
Yeah, hell yeah, which we will be seeing.
We will be seeing.
We will be fucking watching.
It looks fucking good, dude. They played the trailer in front of it, and it was a different trailer that I've never seen.
Yeah, before. I've never seen that trailer either. So I was like, I'm fucking super into this. And who was it? I saw somebody like really crazy in the trailer that I'm like, is this fucking guy in the movie?
I don't know.
I know Jason Clarke's in it, but there was someone else like super wacky in that trailer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've got the picture open here. There was some other really crazy costumes. There was a guy dressed up as the Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend was dressed up as Harley Quinn. And it's like, hey, look, I get what you're going for here, but Jared Leto's a rapist. You can't dress up as Jared Leto.
There was also a very good Donald Trump in chains.
Yeah, Donald Trump in a orange jumpsuit.
There's good guys on both sides.
There's good guys on both sides. There was a very, very, very there was very what's the word I'm looking for? Basic costume of the Bride of Chucky, where it was just a girl holding a Chucky doll, and then she was just wearing a white dress. And I'm like, yeah, that's correct. I guess that's Jennifer Tilly to a T.
Oh, we love Jennifer Tilly.
Oh, we do love Jennifer Tilly. God, she's bad at acting. God, she's really bad. I'm just taking a look at that picture here. There was also just like somebody holding a big hammer, and I didn't know really who that was.
Is this anime shit?
Yeah, I think
is this weeboo shit?
Yeah, I think it was just anime shit, so I don't know what that was all about. However, that zombie nurse one with the organs spilling out, that was actually
good. It looked custom.
Pretty dope. Yeah, pretty dope costume, actually. Definitely customly made. But the costume contest was very fun, but not as fun as it was last year, because last year it was closer because you had Mayor McCheese and then you had Hot Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And that was really good. Like those were both really great costumes. Whereas this year I was like, this guy's talking the most. He's going to win for sure.
Well, a lot of people were just wearing like horror shirts like myself. Halloween 3.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what you wear.
You got to be comfortable-ish. Not too comfortable. You don't want to fall asleep.
Yeah, you don't want to fall asleep. It's like
but you also don't want to be wearing a big-ass costume.
I was like, I was pissed off that people were showing up in their pajamas, and I'm like, the fucking rookies. Look at these.
Sure. We should have brought Podcast Bot.
Oh, hey, Podcast Bot. I guess we didn't really talk about you today at all.
Well, it's a Wednesday episode. I usually take Wednesday off. Anyway, I need to borrow the corporate card. I gotta go to LA for a minute.
Sounds correct.
Hold on.
What? No. Don't question it. Just give it to him.
I don't want to give him the Amex card. He's gonna fucking charge he's gonna buy fucking first class.
Wait. Hold up. Podcast Bot. If you have to tell me right now before we give you this corporate card, you're not going to see Bryan Singer. You better not be going to see Bryan Singer.
No, I'm going to the Comedy Store to see Joe Rogan.
Oh, that's kind of all right.
Checks out. Actually.
Yeah, kind of. It sounds like some podcast.
I often catch Podbot watching fucking Joe Rogan and crank it off and shit.
Crank it off.
Yeah, Podbot loves to crank off. Plug me in gently. Plug me in with your dick. That's how I get charged. No, it's not, Podbot. That's not how we charge you.
Yeah, he seems to be very confused. Bryan Singer did a number on this boy.
I'm the Podbot. I'm not confused.
Podbot, you got to settle down, or else we're gonna fucking dump you back at that Bryan Singer boy party.
I'm gonna steal things from your house later.
I think podcast Bot might be going rogue a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know what this. Okay, you take the card and be back by next Sunday's episode, please. We need you for that one. It's the 200th episode.
200th episode. Podbot. We're going to be counting down the worst 50 movies of all time, and I absolutely need to know what your least favorite movie of all.
Okay.
I'd assume it's apt people.
Can I borrow this skateboard?
Yes, absolutely, because I like the idea of a robot on a skateboard. That's incredibly funny to me.
Thank you. Plug me in.
Yeah, he's going to make it halfway to the airport before his battery dies.
He was looking low charge. He stole the skateboard. He's leaving. I guess he's not taking an Uber for some reason.
His battery power is fucking terrible, dude. He's not making it to the airport.
Well, he's gone now.
He doesn't even have a passport, so
he's a robot player. What do you need a passport for?
Oh, true. Can he check himself?
He's also an American citizen, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Wait, he might be Japanese, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a gray area for sure.
Never asked.
So yeah, that was that. And then you remember earlier when I was like, Murder Party is probably the worst movie we watched this night. I lied. Because the next movie we're talking about is definitely the worst movie we watched this night.
High Tension?
And that was High Tension. And now,
it's almost amazing, though. That's the weird thing.
That is very true. It's almost incredible. But then
it's almost one of the best movies I've ever seen.
But then it dips hard. That third act dips hard because the first two acts are pretty great.
Good. It's a fantastic slasher, extremely gory.
Yeah, extremely gory, really uncomfortable, really effective.
High tension.
Because the murderer just shows up and starts killing people for no reason, and that's we talked about this with Halloween.
Yes, that's what we talked about during Halloween.
It's fucking terrifying that he just does it for no reason.
And one of my biggest pet peeves with slashers is when they try to explain shit. That's why Hellfest is good. They don't explain that shit. He's a murderer. Player.
Yeah, he just likes to go kill kids.
He loves killing kids.
Shit, yeah. And so this one is very, very, very gory.
Yeah, and it is a French movie. I looked it up. They did do a recut that they released in the States, and this was that version.
Oh, okay, yeah, because this is dubbed also,
because it was originally rated like X or whatever. What's the highest one? Like
the NC-17.
NC-17, and they're like, well, we'll cut this bad boy down to an R. So there's some shit cut out, I'm guessing.
The one that they invented because they didn't want to give Clockwork Orange, an X-rated movie, an Academy Award nomination. So they're like, actually, it's called NC-17. It just means it's really bad.
Yeah. So Alexandra Aja, one of our good buddies, directed Horns, the Joe Hill film.
Dude, she directed Horns? I fucking love that movie.
Definitely a dude.
Oh, wait. What did I say?
French.
Did I say she?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he also directed the Hills Have Eyes remake.
Oh, yeah, that one's not as good. But Horns...
and also the Piranha remake.
Okay, that's also not as good. But Horns is great. I actually super like Horns. So what this movie is about is that these two very French ladies are going to the countryside for Thanksgiving, something like that, maybe.
I saw it as like a study break type thing.
Yeah, maybe like a
break type.
Yeah, spring break or like a reading week or whatever. So they're going to visit the one girl's parents, and they've been friends forever, but this girl's never met her.
Or something.
Yeah. I think they're like, I think they're like college roommates. Like that just sort of was the air I got. Yeah. And so they're going out to meet her parents because they've been best friends for years, and the one girl has never met her friend's parents. So they're going out there, staying out in the countryside. You got a big old fucking Saint Bernard out there.
Oh, a big doggy.
Big doggy. Giant old Saint Bernard. It's like a classic farmhouse. And then this lad rolls up and for no reason just starts killing people in insane ways.
Yeah. Really crazy.
The first kill of the movie is he takes a guy and he jams his head between the railings on the stairs and then pushes the banister, and then pushes a fucking dresser so hard into him that his head gets dislodged from his body.
Already extremely hardcore. This is like
incredibly effective.
Mere minutes after we seen a 7-minute or female orgasm on screen. Female masturbation scene.
Yeah, I forgot that they did that. She's just cranking down that for like 7 minutes.
Cranking down longer than those music scenes. Not quite in Graduation Day, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait to get to that.
So that's pretty crazy, and like right off the bat, I heard this is one of the goriest movies ever.
It's pretty gory. Inside is gorier. You have to fucking see Inside.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, it is very gory. This movie, there is tons of blood in this movie. And then like the murderer starts killing like the mother, and like, you know, like the most fucked up way.
She also she ties up the
first girl, the main girl.
As you're watching this movie, you're like, why is everybody making so much goddamn noise, and why isn't anybody doing anything? It's later revealed why, kind of. Sort of. But like there is just like people making so much noise, and you're like, this is the worst kind of horror movie because you would get caught immediately.
Yeah. I will talk later about some of the plot holes in this section that I have, but not until we really talk about the twist, because this movie does have a twist. And let me tell you,
M. Night Shyamalan type shit.
Yeah, it takes a 4-star and cuts it down to a 2 pretty quick with that shitty twist. And then like, so she's killing the family. She kills the dog. She goes into the cornfield, kills the kid.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
Which is hardcore as fuck. And it's...
You kept saying she there.
Yeah, my bad. that might be on me. But either way, the killer is going out and like he shoots the kid in the back of the head.
That guy is awesome too. He's really scary.
Yeah, super
really creepy.
Super uncomfortable. He's just like a guy in like a fucking plumber's uniform, a big old fat dude. Looks like fucking comic book guy.
Extremely French. He's like what's that extremely French guy that drinks so much wine and has that hard stomach? Pierre
Trudeau?
I almost said Pierre Trudeau. What's more like Guy Guidare or something.
You
Well,
good,
you don't know.
man?
You're uncultured, so you don't know anything.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. But and then like they like the murderer puts the girl. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. The murderer puts the one girl that's tied up into the van, and then the other girl's coming around, and she's like, "I'm gonna get you the fuck out of here." But the other girl has like the shit, it stuffed into her mouth, and so they start driving away in this guy's scary van. Which, by the way, that van is scary as fuck.
Yeah,
like it's just like
extremely scary.
Yeah, like a big fucking rust bucket shit truck like van thing. It's disgusting, dude.
Yeah. It looks dingy.
Yeah, it looks mad dingy. It looks like people do get murdered in there, to be honest.
If I saw that van, I'd be like, I'm getting murdered.
You're like, well, this is it for me. And then there's the scene where the murderer finds the main girl, and they sort of chase each other through the forest for what feels like...
you missed the gas station section.
Oh yeah, they
really
go
long.
Yeah, they go into a gas station, and the
it's only necessary for the reveal.
Yeah, it's only necessary for the real reveal, and the main murderer just starts fucking axing the shit out of the people at the gas station. And then the murderer finds the main girl, and they chase each other through the fucking woods for so long. And then she creates like the fucking stick with the barbed wire, and I'm like, this is the shit I'm here for.
This is extremely good.
Yeah, this is the shit that I'm here for.
They're in a greenhouse for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason they're in a greenhouse.
Cool. I've never seen like a murder in a greenhouse, so I'm on board.
But where'd it come from?
Don't know.
Where the fuck?
Why is it in the forest? Where are they? What the fuck is this movie?
Yeah, and so like, and then it gets really gory. She beats the shit out of this dude with the barbed wire, and like it's fucking bloody and horrific and terrible to watch. And then, oh boy, this is about the time we get to the reveal where it turns out
the cops are in the gas station. Yep. They play back the video because there's video there. The cops, and these cops are terrible, by the way.
Yeah. They never arrest anybody, by the way. They're only at the scene, and it's only for the reveal.
And then you see on the CRT monitor that it's actually been the main girl all along is the murderer.
Yeah, it's the main girl all along, which is the murderer, which is like... okay, yeah.
This seems like a reveal for reveal's sake. It's also a game-breaking reveal.
Yes, because it makes the movie make a lot less sense, as well as it gives them because like the motive eventually it ends up being that she was jealous of everybody or whatever.
She's in love with her.
Yeah, and she's in love with the girl, and she doesn't want anyone else to be in love with the girl. Okay, whatever. Yeah, okay. But I have so many questions.
Yeah, where'd the truck come from?
Where the fuck did that truck come from?
They drove there for a long time.
But they drove there in a different car.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They drove from far distance to get there.
Yeah, so that truck, where did it come from? That makes no fucking sense. And maybe the French version of this movie attempts to explain it, but not the dubbed version.
I doubt it. It doesn't seem like a movie that's really revealing too much.
Yeah, it's true. And like, and then like, there's even parts like where the main girl is talking to the girl that's tied up while the murderer is outside shooting the kid. Mm-hmm. And they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're responding to each other. Like, even though the one girl has the thing in her mouth, she's responsive to everything she's saying. But how could this conversation be happening if you're out in field killing kid?
I think it's
the timeline's muddled.
I think it's not supposed to be linear. I think it's she's when she zones in and out of the character, she's at different spots in the house.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I don't know. I just feel like it would have been so much more effective if it just turned out that he was just a psychopath, but not just, crazy in love with and cranking off to the thought of her best friend.
Yeah, but the French, this is what the French love, though.
Yeah, that's true.
They love and reveals.
It's true, yeah. And it does feel like they just tossed this reveal in this movie to just have one. It feels like they came up with the reveal after they wrote the rest of the movie, like the first half of the movie.
No, I don't think that's true at all. I think they had that very much in mind, that there was going to be this stupid reveal, because it's so integral to the motive of this movie.
Yeah, but again, the motive.
I'm going to need you to stay awake for this part. We've got one more after this.
The motive for this movie is what ruins it. It's what makes it less scary.
Sure, but I don't think they just randomly came upon that. I think it was from day one.
Obviously. I'm speaking in hyperbole here, but it just feels like it's just tossed in there, to be honest.
No, I disagree completely. I just think it's poorly written in.
Yeah, fair enough. But I do think this is a great movie, though. Like, I think there's a lot of great stuff.
It's so close to being one of the best, dude.
There's like the scene where the main girl like is running away from the murderer, and she gets into the backseat of the car, and she's like, drive, and the guy's like, what are we doing? And then the chainsaw comes through the window, and he kills the guy, and the blood spraying everywhere.
Yeah,
it's fucking intense, dude. Crazy. And like some of the visuals in this movie are some of my favorite that we saw for
certainly
the entire night.
Miserable looking movie, for sure.
This is definitely where I started to like sort of get tired. Oh, and it's even where I'm getting tired now. But this is definitely where you could tell I could start getting tired throughout the night. But thankfully, I caught a second wind during the next film.
You want a fucking coffee bean to chew on, you fucking tired bitch?
So I'd say this one's about as good as Murder Party, maybe a little bit worse, but I'm still going to plant it at a 3-star.
Yeah, I gave her a 3. I think it's good. It's just the reveal's too shitty.
Yeah, the reveal is too shitty. It makes the movie make less sense.
Now, this is the main event for me. A little movie called Graduation Day. Never even heard of this fucking movie.
Yeah, never heard of it before in my life.
And now I know all the listeners are going to be like, these guys are being hyperbolic. We're snide assholes. So they're obviously lying. But to me, this is a stone cold masterpiece.
Dude, this one's really good.
I believe I could make 1,000 movies and never have one even as close to how buck fucking wild this movie is.
This movie is crazy as fuck. This is one of the craziest movies I've ever seen.
Right out the gates, that weird editing music video where the girl's running and then has a heart attack or an aneurysm.
Yeah, because like it's super fun and like funny, and then the music is like bam, 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 and then it's like bam, bam,
it's got the craziest editing where it's like flash. It just continues throughout.
Yeah, it's throughout the whole film. Yeah,
where it's flashes from something to another thing, and it's just like people's faces, and you're like, this is crazy.
And this movie was perfectly placed at the 5th film because this movie woke everybody up in the audience. They were like, oh, I obviously can't miss a goddamn second of this. And the guy behind us was wearing a Graduation Day t-shirt. He was fucking loving it.
Yeah,
dude.
It's probably Cameron, the programmer.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah. But this movie is so crazy. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And it's full of fucking false Mr. X.
Give me 75 Mr. X. Give me a dozen dumb as hell kills. Give me a suspicious as hell motive. Yeah. Give me a 45-year-old playing a high school kid. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. There's like, I think it was like 20 minutes into the movie, this guy's talking about graduation, and I turned to you and I'm like, graduating? You're 40.
That guy's 45 as shit. That guy was older than the sister who was like the Navy lady or whatever.
Yeah, who was supposed to be like a few years older. That dude might have been older than the fucking coach.
He might have been on par with the age of the coach. And one of my favorite aspects of this movie is that every adult male figure is a complete scumbag asshole. And they're just screaming at everybody.
Yeah, because like the principal's just trying to fuck, which is amazing. All he wants to do is fuck. And he wants to fuck his receptionist. The music teacher who plays no role in this movie. He doesn't contribute to the plot. He's just there to fuck a kid.
Like, yo, that's when you turn to me and you're like, this is an interesting film.
It is so weird.
And then there's the stepdad that's just yelling at everybody. Yeah, and then there's the coach that's yelling at everybody.
Oh yeah, the stepdad who is like, you're the same loudmouth bitch than the day you left. And you're like, what the fuck? And every time he goes off, the mom is like, he's been through so much.
What? You're gonna have to explain something in this movie. But don't worry, almost nothing gets explained until it gets explained too much. And that's what's hilarious. And there's like the one kid's whose grandma that can't hear anything but watches the static TV. Huh?
What's that all about? And she's sitting in the corner. She's like, "Go on, get." Get out of here!
And then there's like one of my favorite Mr. X is the one cop who's like smokes the reefer and so he's like smoking reefer.
Yeah, and
that's
he's like,
one of the best Mr. X because it's like, oh, who's this guy that they introduce 40 minutes in?
He rolls up at McGregor. That's what his name.
Yeah.
Fucking McGregor is perfect. And he's like, you kids smoking weed? And they're like,
okay, so before we go too much farther, let's explain a little bit about the plot of this. It's a slasher movie.
What?
It's a slasher movie where one of the track stars dies because she was pushed too hard by the coach, and then someone is, for some reason, killing all the people.
The rest of the track
team in revenge, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it is. But there's other stuff in the movie that just has nothing to do with anything.
Oh, dude.
There's like
one of my favorite aspects is when it just busts into some sort of musical number for 4 minutes.
There's that like 9-minute musical number that's like on the graduation.
That's the best scene in any movie.
It's incredible,
opinion, where it's like, it's gangster rock for like 9 minutes. And I'm like, yo, they have sang this song twice now, I think. As they're like running
we're peeling on Bryce now, to be honest.
And there's also that other great scene where the guy from the newspaper wants to come to see the gymnastics routine.
Oh my god, yeah, I was about to bring this up also.
And then she's just like swinging on the bars to music for like 4.5 minutes, and you're like, oh, yo,
you're
I'm
like,
totally into this. And this movie is crazy, especially in the editing department. It's one of the most buck wild edited movies I've ever seen because it's like, it's got these weird, like, sometimes it'll bust out like a fucking Boogie Nights thing or something. Like, you know that one scene when the fucking the screen dissipated and like turned into stars.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. That's a crazy.
What is this transition?
Yeah, this is like a movie Windows Movie Maker transition. And this movie, like, it's in like it. This sits among The Room and Epidemic and Troll 2. This sits upon the greats of some of the best worst shit I've ever seen.
Better than all of those movies.
I agree. I absolutely agree. It's one of the silliest, craziest movies where absolutely nothing has to do with anything in my entire life. I want to see the script for this movie because that thing has got to have fucking 1 million scribbles in it.
It also has to be cut down from like 3 hours because there's so much content in this fucking movie.
Absolutely. And then like the movie, it feels like it should end, but then it just keeps going for like
going forever.
So long.
There's so many weird kills in this too, like unnecessarily weird kills.
Oh yeah, like the fucking guy who puts the fencing thing into the football.
Oh, just stab him.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, "Hey, give me my football back."
And then maybe one of my favorites, the spikes in the pole vault mat.
Oh yeah, that's so dumb. And then my personal favorite is the one where he just lunges at the girl and stabs her through the neck with in the fucking locker room.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about this movie is that like the killer is hiding the bodies on campus and nobody finds them for so long. Like it takes really long time.
Well, this movie only takes place over a couple of days.
Oh yeah, that's
graduation.
True. Yeah, it's like the day before graduation and then graduation day. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And one of my favorite aspects, though, is like every single character almost was there just to be a misdirect. They were all wearing gray tracksuits. Checks out as the
yeah. They all had
a pair of black gloves for some reason.
Yeah, and they would always show you packing them up or unpacking them or something. Because like at first, I'm like, I thought that they showed the sister and she unpacked her shit and she had all that, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna just tell us who the murderer is right away.
No, sir.
But then everybody has these black gloves and tracksuit, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not so sure no more.
No, there's one thing that's for sure is you're not sure where this movie's fucking going. That is for sure.
That is for goddamn sure, and it's really, really crazy, but it's perfect.
And then we come to the reveal that it was the boyfriend all along, the 45-year-old
boyfriend.
And then he goes into a long explanation.
Really, really long monologue, yeah.
Extremely long monologue, and he almost gets away. But don't worry, the sister's there for a reason. She, like, attacks him. And then, she kills him or something. And she throws out the window.
Yeah, that's right, because she, goes to his house.
Yeah, and she finds the dead sister.
Yeah, oh my god, I fucking even forgot about that. This dude was, fucking Bates Motelling his dead girlfriend, sure. Dug up her body and was just keeping her in and was dressing her up in the graduation gown. He's like, we're gonna get married. It's really stupid.
Yeah, and then he's dead.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you're like, well, that should have probably ended there. Nope, little bit.
No.
There's a dream sequence.
There's like the scene where like the main girl is sleeping, and then like the door busts open, and it looks to be the boyfriend character with a knife, and then he turns on the light, and it's just the stepdad holding a bottle of vodka. And you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, it should probably end there. No, it goes on a little longer.
He like busts into her room in the middle of the night to be like, you fucking bitch. It's really whack.
Gotta get one more of those in there.
Yeah, gotta slide one in.
This movie's wild, and y'all need to see that.
Yeah, it's check it out immediately. I don't care how you see it.
I feel like we're blessed that we got to see it on the big screen.
I don't know if it's on Google Play. If it is, rent it.
The Vinegar Syndrome did like a DVD release of it, so that's probably the only way to see that shit.
Yeah, or just, steal it.
You need to see this in the highest quality possible. So
yeah, that is true.
Recommend you buy this.
Is this on Blu-ray? I might look it up right now.
Literally what I just said. Vinegar Syndrome did a Blu-ray release.
Oh, I thought you said DVD. No. I thought you said DVD. My bad. But I'll be buying that immediately off Amazon. As everyone who's listening to this pod sure should have. Now, while I was feeling sleepy watching High Tension, Graduation Day perked me right up.
Hell yeah.
And like we were going to leave after Graduation Day.
Well, because it was House of a Thousand Corpses. I've seen that before.
Yeah, and so, but I was like...
It's been a long time, though.
But like after Graduation Day, I was like, well, I'm clearly not sleeping after that.
Yeah, no, there was no way I was sleeping.
So we stayed for House of a Thousand Corpses, which I have seen, but it's been a long time since I saw it. And last time I saw it was before I ever saw any Texas Chainsaw movies. And man, does it ever ape Texas Chainsaw in a pretty good way, though.
Yeah.
So House of a Thousand Corpses. Robert Zombert, who we notoriously pulled apart last week.
We thrashed him last week. Go listen to that episode. That's a classic.
Yeah, the Halloween
People
episode.
People are going to be talking about that episode until the day this podcast ends, which might be soon. If you don't share this fucking podcast with your friends, I'll quit. I will fucking quit.
Yeah, we
don't think I won't.
We do this for you guys. We don't like doing this. I don't like hanging out with this guy.
Yeah, I hate this fat fuck.
Yeah, this fucking thick Leno. So, yeah, we thrashed the shit out of Rob Zombie last week, but this movie's good as fuck.
Yeah, I love this movie.
I actually really like House of a Thousand Corpses a lot, and I remember liking it in high school, but I was wondering if maybe it was like dumb high school brain or something. Nah, this movie's good as fuck.
I don't know about good as fuck, but it is good.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's really...
I'm glad we got to see it on the big screen. It's way more aesthetically pleasing than I remember.
Yeah, like it's a really good-looking movie, and like
I remember being like grittier, but like they had a nice copy of this thing.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I love like the film grain transitions that they did, where like anytime there was like a flashback or something happening in a different scene, like it would go to like a sort of like a film grain, like a heavy film grain. I really, really like that. Now this movie stars my boy Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, and tremendously fat rapist Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, Chris Hardwick, just tremendously fat. He's lost
really big.
Yeah, he's lost 130 pounds since then.
He lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, so
end his career.
Yeah,
because he's a rapist.
Yeah, because he was the funny fat guy, right? Can't be a funny fat guy if you're a rapist.
No, he then became probably one of the most successful people in entertainment for like 7 years, and then he became a rapist.
Yeah, and then he became a rapist, and that's a good way to end your career. So Rainn Wilson, God, I love him. He's not
pre-actor.
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah, he's not really anything interesting in this movie. But here's what I noticed Rainn Wilson that I never noticed when I'm watching, like, say, The Office about Rainn Wilson, is that when Rainn Wilson is really trying, he's hot as fuck, dude. That's
I don't know what this line of questioning is.
God, he looks good, dude. That's a good-looking fella right there. God, he's good-looking. He's real tall. Super way too tall, but good-looking fella. And so this movie is about a group of teenagers, as most of these movies are.
I don't know if they're teenagers. They look like they're all 30 as shit.
Yeah, it's Rainn Wilson is fucking halfway through The Office. He's fucking 45. But I think they're supposed to be, because the one girl lives with her dad and, like, has to, like, go home and, like, by a curfew.
No, that's not what it was. They were going to visit him for the holidays.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Right, because they were driving across country getting all these book ideas.
No, bitch, you don't know what this movie's about, and I don't really either, especially in the back half. You know who is the best character though? Sid Haig as Dr. Spaulding.
Yeah, like the clown man.
Yeah, he's the best. I really wanted more of him. Thank God that's why we had The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, which I've never seen. I have to see that movie.
It's the sequel.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew it was a sequel to this movie. I've just never seen it. Apparently, they're making a third one, but Robert Zombert will fuck that up somehow. So then this movie is like, they find this weird horror museum with Dr. Spaulding, Sid Haig, Clown Man, and he's like talking to them about Dr. Satan. They're like, Dr. Satan was supposed to be executed, but then he disappeared without a trace. And they're like, ooh, spooky.
Very scary. And they're writing a book for some reason.
Yeah, they're writing a book.
Another plot point where it's like, all right. Well,
yeah, it's like Chris Hardwick talks about it a little bit, but it's like they're going across the country trying to find like
roadside
the best
attractions.
Yeah, roadside attractions, like neat hidden roadside attractions. And
okay, that doesn't seem like it needs to be in here though.
Yeah, well, absolutely it doesn't.
Or just have it be like you're going to visit your parents or whatever. Just have that. That's enough.
Yeah, why couldn't that have just been the plot?
Because then they wouldn't have wanted. Then they wouldn't have wanted to discover Dr. Satan as much. Probably.
Yeah, so they wanted to dive more into Dr. Satan. So they're like, "Where's the tree he was supposed to be executed at?" And he's like, "I'll draw you a map." He draws them a map. They head out, and then they pick up a hitchhiker, a fucking super hot chick.
Yeah, Sherry Moon Zombie.
Yeah, crazy. Is that Robert Zombert's sister or brother?
Yeah, it's his wife.
It's his wife. Oh, so the mom.
I don't think they were married at
Halloween.
This point, but she's in every single one of his movies.
Dude, she looks good as hell in this movie. And so she takes them back to their scary, clearly Texas Chainsaw Massacre aping house.
Yeah.
Where they have like fetuses in jars. And like there's like one part where they bring out the fetus in the jar and Chris Hardwick's like, oh my God. It's really, really crazy.
I really like Tiny. I think he's a good character design.
Yeah. I like a lot of the family. Like Rufus is just such a scary looking fucking guy. And then there's is Tiny the guy with the long hair or the one with the weird face?
Tiny's the really big guy with the
weird face. Yeah, Sloth from the Goonies. But then there was like the guy with the long hair who was sort of like the main antagonist of this movie, and he was really creepy.
Is his name Otis?
Yeah, Otis. And he's really, really creepy.
He's fucking fantastic. That guy's awesome.
He's like the brother from Texas Chainsaw 2. Kill that bitch, brother. And so essentially he's an artist and he uses human beings as art. And like it's super crazy the shit that he does, and he turns Rainn Wilson into a weird fish man. And then this movie gets really weird because then Walton Goggins becomes the main character for some reason.
Oh yeah, Walton Goggins in this bad boy.
Yeah, Walton Goggins, still ugly.
You know, I started watching that show called Vice Principals, the David Gordon Green and Danny McBride and the other guy that makes all those shows.
Yeah,
and
Walton Goggins is in that, right?
Walton Goggins plays the other vice principal, and he's like super gay, and he's so perfect because Walton Goggins is the best actor on the fucking planet.
Dude, he's really good.
But it's just not in enough stuff.
Yeah, come on, put him in more stuff. Where he's gotten to a point where we put him in a Rombert Zombert film.
You know what's interesting about this? The guy that plays Otis, the guy that's very reminiscent of Chainsaw 2.
Yeah,
he's in Chainsaw Massacre 2.
What?
Plays Chop Top Sawyer.
Is that
literally is what it says? I'm looking at it right now.
Is it the same guy? Dude, it might be the same guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh my God. So not only did Robert Zombert fucking clearly love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is correct, because like,
yeah, it's amazing.
This is the most Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 thing ever, because at first you have them at the creepy house where they're like serving them weird food, and then you got that underground cave, which is also...
Which at that point it goes way off the rails, but I'm still on board.
Yeah, which is also
I don't know what
very
it's
reminiscent.
about. That last quarter, don't know what this movie's about at all, but I like it. It's a great watch.
Well, in the back half of this movie, they introduce the fact that this family has actually been hiding Dr. Satan in a cave.
Yeah.
But they're also like fucking tying him up. Like or something, because he's got like those giant things that are attached to like his shoulders.
Think that's just to keep him alive.
Yeah, okay, but explain this for 1 second. But then they see Dr. Satan and they're like, "Oh no, it's Dr. Satan! Run away!" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm Dr. Satan," and they run away.
Well, most of them get chopped up. We barely mentioned that.
Oh yeah, I think all of them except for the one girl. I think one girl is alive at the end.
Yeah,
and
Wilson gets turned into a fish man, and that's maybe the most thing I remember about this movie.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson as a fish man, especially like when he shows it to his girlfriend, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, your boyfriend's still here. Take a look at this." And it's Rainn Wilson as a fish man, and you're like, "What the fuck?" But then, like, there's also
extremely gross. It's very gory. It's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. It's insanely gross. Very aesthetic. Like it's
brutal.
Yeah,
nasty.
Sickening. There's like the scene where he kills the one girl's dad and then wears the dad's face on his face, and then he's
wild.
And then he's fucking trying to kiss the girl with her dad's face on his face, and it's like, this is fucked up. Like,
it's way too fucked up.
Yeah, like Rob Zombie, like, please seek medical attention.
Yeah, it's Rob Zombie needs help.
Like, it's a bunch of really wild stuff that connects. Like, it all connects kind of, but it's wild enough that I super love it. And like every second of this movie is really fun to watch. There's also that shot that's like Otis has his gun to Walton Goggins' head, and then it pauses the movie for like
a full minute.
Yeah, for like a really long time before he pulls the trigger. It's just him standing
It's such a beautiful shot.
Too. It's a really great shot, especially when the gun goes off and you can see the smoke billowing out of the back of Walton Goggins' head. Like, it's
great squib work.
It's fucking oh man. No, yeah, it's a really great fucking looking movie. It does get too crazy near the end, but I'm still into it, you know, like I'm still down. I'm still down for it. Like there's a scene where like there's so many whack scenes, and like there's even a scene where they put her and Chris Hardwick into a coffin and they lower them into a well.
That's during the ceremony on Halloween.
The Halloween ceremony.
Very interesting stuff.
Super, super crazy stuff. But I really like this movie a lot. I'm gonna give this a 4 on the Chatsky scale.
Totally, that's what it deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So the last movie this is the point where we left.
Yeah.
Because it was 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like, there's no way I'm staying up another hour and a half to watch a shitty Sam Raimi movie.
Also, that movie is like an hour and 50, by the way.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer. But we saw them fucking pour in the cereal as we were walking out, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna miss the cereal because they had like the boo berries and stuff like that, like all the Halloween
cereal.
Oh, I'll eat the fuck out of those Halloween cereals though. They all got shitty marshmallows in them. Just get Lucky Charms, I guess. But you went and watched this. Now, I had seen this movie, you had not. And I was like, we're not staying for this movie because this movie's fucking bad. And you're like, well, there's no way it's as bad as you say it is. But now you've seen it.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly as bad as you said. This movie's fucking horrible.
Really fucking terrible movie.
A critically acclaimed movie.
Dude,
everyone
I've
ever talked to loves this movie.
It's super bad.
But everyone must have saw this when they were 13, right? Because this is a very PG-13 horror movie. Mm-hmm. And it relies on a bunch of shitty jump scares and none of it's
fortune telling.
None of it's
spooky
scary.
Fortune telling.
I guess it's trying to be funny, I think, but it's not funny.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because Sam Raimi can do funny.
Sam Raimi can do horror also, but apparently he decided he wasn't going to do that this time.
He was going to do neither this time. We won't harp on this one too much because I actually didn't watch it this week. But I'm really glad that you've seen this movie now and that you agree with me on how fucking really bad it is.
Yeah, it's extremely bad.
It is extremely bad.
It's cringeworthy most of the time. Justin Long fucking blows.
He blows chunks.
I kind of like the main girl, but Justin Long fucking blows.
Dude, I hate Justin Long so much. Oh god, I hate him. To Mr. Tuskegee.
I love Mr. Tuskegee though.
But as a whole,
I should have played Tusk for the last spot.
Yeah, dude, if they played Tusk, we would have stayed. I would have
stayed so hard to see Mr. Tuskegee.
We would have stayed if they played Tusk for sure. It's a movie I don't like, but it's wild enough that it would keep me awake.
Hey, Cuff, if you guys are still listening, play Tusk next year.
Yeah, please play Tusk next year. You know what? Do Tusk and then do Yoga Hosers.
No Yoga Hosers.
Do Red State. Do Red State. I take it back. Do Red State.
Red State's good.
Yeah, do Red State. You know what? Actually, just hit us up. Let us do the lineup next year. I bet we can make a dope lineup that's gonna have.
No, we don't want to do the lineup.
No,
that's their job.
No, I want to do the lineup. Hit me up. I bet you I could come up with a really dope lineup.
I doubt it. You've seen 18 movies.
Yeah, one of them is Tusk. And Drag Me to Hell. Yeah, this was a really fun time. Like I had such a good time.
It's probably one of my favorite events of the year. It really did fuck me up bad on Sunday, and I barely made it into work today.
Yeah, like you still look bad.
I think it's gonna fuck. You look like you haven't slept in 75 days.
I went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night, so I mean I did sleep, but I do look bad. But that's just a general thing.
That's just a general thing. Yeah. I think this is gonna fuck me up all week, but it doesn't matter because it's one of the most fun events in
absolutely. And like honestly, huge thanks to Calgary Underground Film Festival for putting it on. It was so much fun.
It was a lot better maintained this year.
Yeah, we
didn't order pizza this year, but last year was a fucking horrific mess.
Yeah. Trying to get that za was fucking, and we were so drunk last year, and we made the decision not to drink. Yeah,
last year you were drunk.
I was drunk. You were not drunk. I was super drunk, but
because I drove home after that last year.
That's right. You did, and I was really drunk, but yeah, no, we were just fucking starving. We just had to eat that pizza last year, but this year we were a bit more prepared. I got some Twizzlers halfway through.
You still didn't eat before, which is like the craziest mistake that you could possibly have done that twice.
Yeah, I know. It's insane that I did that twice. Yeah. Crazy, really. I had lunch. I don't know if that counts.
No, it doesn't, because it starts at 7.
I had lunch. But yeah, and this time again, it was sponsored by Red Bull, which was great because we got free Red Bulls, which really helped me out in that latter half.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and
a lot of people stayed. I saw that 40 people stayed all the way this year. That's crazy.
That's really crazy, because like last year it was like something like 15 or something, wasn't it? It was like way less. But last year was tough because
it's getting bigger.
Last year was tough because you had to make it through Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which is a fucking horrible mess. Yeah. Whereas everything here, like this was,
you did get to see Halloween 3, which is one of the best of all time, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2,
which is also
amazing. Fright Night, which is one of the best.
Yeah, you loved Fright Night.
Fright Night was the discovery of the night, because I'd seen the rest of them, but holy shit, was Fright Night good.
Graduation Day is obviously the discovery of the night this week, and whoever chose Graduation Day, fucking God bless you, because my life will never be the same. I'm gonna show that movie to like a baker's dozen people, like at least.
Friends, but okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just show it to people who also aren't my friends.
Okay, perfect.
So honestly, humongous amount of fun, and I can't wait to do it again next year. But hit us up. We want to make I want to do it. I want to do the lineup. I want to figure it out.
Yeah, no, they're not going to hire you. Anyway, we're giving away a copy of Blade Runner 2049. What's that code?
That code is
us the socials.
That code is Harrison Ford is 100. You have to tweet that at us at Movie Epidemic. And it's good, and it must be a hashtag apparently. As well as you can follow us on Instagram at Movie Epidemic and Facebook at Punch Nerds Movie Epidemic. Thanks so much for listening, and